Sportsman. Yeah, you in the mix, rockin' with Kenny. When it comes to news, man, he got plenty. You in the sports mix with Kenny, news and knowledge. A lot of dope techniques make kids become scholars. You need to tune in, a lot of hot topics. When it comes to sports, Kenny sound like a prophet. You in the mix, man, you in the mix. Plus he keep you up on all the hottest trends. Plus you never know who he has as a guest. So grab a cold one, man, and just tune in. You in the mix, man, you in the mix. You in the mix, sports mix. You in the mix, rockin' with Kenny. When it comes to news, man, he got plenty. You in the mix, man, you in the mix. You in the mix, sports mix. You in the mix, you rockin' with Kenny. When it comes to news, man, he got plenty.
Mm. Yeah, just let the flow.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
That's the mood. That's the mood around town today.
Absolutely.
It was a funeral going on. And yeah, we got the bad witness. You know, game three, Ravens, Detroit Lions is the Monday night game. It's the, the big game of the week. Only game in town.
Yeah.
Only game going on.
Right.
You know, it's what's this, the 30-year anniversary of the Ravens, and
set the stage. Go ahead, set the stage.
Heard the Baltimore Orioles was in the building.
Mm.
You know, heard the Baltimore Orioles was in the building. Carmelo Anthony was down there, and Derek Queen in the building.
Man.
You know, man.
Wow.
And it was a Motown show.
Mm.
I think Stevie Wonder was out there.
Man.
And the Temptations and the Four Tops and the Jackson Fives and all them.
Oh God dang.
Goodness gracious, man. It was like what they call it, the Motown Review.
Motown Review.
The Motown Review came to town yesterday.
Mm.
And laid the smack down.
Wow.
On the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
I know how it is. You know how it is at the loss. You know the.
All right.
What you say? It was a traffic jam getting to the Key Bridge.
Yeah. Traffic was real thick after that game. Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah, I mean, I'm scrolling through social media and I'm seeing all the discontent. You know, people calling for people's jobs and people need to be fired and people need to be cut. You know, I saw a video of a brother getting on Marlon Humphrey as he was leaving the stadium last night. Told him, you know, you can't tackle and you out there getting beat. Your podcast is trash. I was like, damn. Damn.
Yeah.
Went after the man podcast. You know, but this just show you how man, fans just
he's fickle.
They fickle ain't even I mean, they live and die with each game. You know, and when you win, it's a celebration. You know, it's party time. It's oh man, it's the greatest thing ever. But when you lose,
Yeah.
Man, it's a funeral, and you got to have this feeling pretty much till Sunday.
Yeah, ain't yeah. I mean, ain't no remedy for it. The only remedy is a win.
It's a win, and they're going to Kansas City.
Going to KC.
So the loser of that game is going to be 1-3.
Exactly.
Let's just soak on that for a minute. The
Yep.
loser of that game is going to be 1-3. Baltimore, who's been in the playoffs pretty much every year the last 7-8 years.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Kansas City got 3 Super Bowls
Yeah.
and they got 1 win.
Right. They was
And
full last year.
yeah, yes, got smacked around last year, but man, this is just I don't know, man. I figured, play the taps, play the taps, and it's like a funeral all
Yeah.
the day, mood around town, and people wasn't as friendly this morning at getting coffee at 7-Eleven, and
Yeah, man. Yeah.
donuts was stale.
Yeah. Yeah. Lot of lot of
Well,
lot, lot of road rage and shit
yeah,
going.
yeah, 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 for sure, definitely that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Definitely a lot of people getting the birds flipped at them.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I won't entertain. Again, the comments, man. I don't know why the comments not showing up here, but this guy, he not this guy. He's a Steelers fan. You know, already talking about this next always next year. Now, I didn't see you in the comments last week. So is it you only gonna comment when the Steelers win? Is that how we're gonna do this? Because if that's the case, you probably only got 3 or 4 more times to comment this year. Yeah, yeah, I said that. 3, 4 more, you know, and so y'all won yesterday. I'll give you that. Good job, good win. You know, 32nd in defensive yards allowed per game. 31st was giving up 30 points. Yeah, we gonna talk about all that. We don't. I mean, ain't nobody keeping stats after the game 3 now. Come on now, come on now.
we ain't running from nothing.
No,
No, we understand.
the way the Pigeons are playing, you there all year. Well, you a Steelers fan, so I know you're not gonna show up when the Steelers lose. I know that because you didn't show up last week, and I was looking for you because the Ravens won, Steelers lost. I was looking for you. Matter of fact, I don't even think you posted last week on your social media. But we here. We don't run from it, man. You know what I mean? I told you I'm posting every week unless I can't.
Yeah.
And I got in a couple weeks I'm not gonna be able to post for personal reasons. You know, but yeah, we here, man. We ain't running. And then if y'all watching and you got some gripes, please voice them. I do my best to get your comments on the screen or address your comments because it's a lot to talk about. You know, it's game 3. You know, we got what 14 more of these things to go.
Yeah.
I don't I wait to game 4 to kind of give my what I think the team is going to be. So far it's not looking good. We definitely need some defense. Y'all just need a new head coach. Eh, that's always the answer when it ain't going right. But again, we was here when we went 5 games without scoring a touchdown, and we know how that season ended. So, you know, I don't get too high or low off of games in September. It is September, and we lost some games last year, and nobody remembered them in December and in January. Nobody talked about them losses because in January you're in the playoffs. So Yeah, we lost yesterday. It was ugly. It was pathetic. If if that's a dig into my dictionary, yeah, it was pathetic. You know, it was pathetic, man. It is hard to watch. You know, I'm sitting here watching this thing like you gotta be kidding me, man. You know, you, you gotta be kidding me. It's like, yo, they couldn't tackle. I mean, Detroit was way more physical than the one on offensive. I mean, they getting them guys 5, 6, 7. The running backs was averaging what 8, 7, 8 yards a carry.
Had to be. Yeah.
I mean, it was ridiculous. And I'm watching them. I'm watching them dudes get off the line, and we had no pass rush. Again, you know, we wasn't getting much pressure on quarterback at all, which is something I talked about 2 weeks ago when they lost the first game. You know, you gotta have a pass rush, and you gotta give the pass rush will help your defensive back. You know, if you know football, you know they go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So you can't say the defensive backs can't cover if you're not getting no pressure on the quarterback. If the quarterback can sit back there and just, you know, file his fingernails and,
Yeah.
tie his shoes up and, change shoes. Motherfucker,
Right.
bring me them other cleats back here. I got that kind of time back here, You can't expect the defensive backs to do much of anything if the quarterback is just back there kind of taking time.
Yeah.
Ray and Reed are walking through those doors. Y'all underperformed last year and were dead last or close to it on defense like this year. They didn't turn it around until game 12. Did the Ravens make the playoffs last year?
I mean, I recall they did. Yeah.
Did the Steelers make the playoffs?
I can't remember what they did.
Yeah, I don't think they did. Oh, yes, they did, because we knocked them out.
Got knocked out in the first round. Yeah.
Yeah, we knocked them out.
Yeah, we knocked. Yeah.
Yeah, remember that,
Yeah.
Mr. Steelers fan. Who sent y'all home last year? Yeah. All right. You and Sierra's husband sent him to New York.
We did.
Now he on the bench. They done benched him already.
Already.
And don't forget, y'all got Aaron Rodgers, who averaging 6 wins a year the last 3 years. 6. All right. Talk. You can talk today. I'm gonna give you that today because y'all won yesterday. Ravens lost. But you can talk today. We gonna take this. We gonna take it. I know you're gonna be asleep soon, then I know you gotta get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning. So go ahead and get it off your chest and have fun. But what was your thoughts, brother? You watched the game. What was your thoughts on what you saw?
I'm right there in alignment with everything you said. I would have to say that this was one of the most lopsided 38-30 games I've ever seen. I mean, you talk about a score not being indicative of what the game was all about. 38-30?
Right.
This was total domination by the Detroit football team. I mean, they had 2 drives over 90 yards. One of their drives that went 90 yards took almost 12 minutes of the second quarter. It's almost a 12-minute drive.
Yeah.
I mean, Lamar Jackson got sacked 7 times.
Yeah.
I mean, and you know how many times their quarterback got sacked?
Not one.
0.
Not one.
I mean, they were 3 for 3 on 4th down conversions.
Unbelievable.
I mean, I didn't even know, you know what? They could have came to this game without a punter and still would have been fine.
Yeah.
I mean, the Ravens, I don't know what it was. I know the Ravens gave up well over 200 yards rushing.
Yeah.
They rushed for 4 touchdowns against the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that I can kind of say for the Ravens, I mean, obviously our offensive line was totally dominated. They gave up sacks. Lamar Jackson was under pressure all night long. We couldn't really run the ball against the defense. We got down to the 4-yard line, goal to goal, 2-yard line, and couldn't get it in.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they're trying plays down near the goal line, which lets you know what they think about their offensive line.
Yep.
The way Monken is calling the game, he's calling the game without any confidence in the offensive line getting any kind of push.
Mm-mm.
So when it comes to total domination, when your offensive coordinator is calling plays, knowing that his line can't do the job, that's part of the domination.
Yep.
You know, to where the offensive coordinator can't even call, you know, running plays when there's a running situation. I don't know why they just don't do the tush push thing when they get close to the end zone. But man, the defensive line could not stop the run. There was no pressure on the quarterback. I mean, this is all stuff you just said. There's no pressure on the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it sounds like an echo, but the cover guys and the pass rush works hand in hand. And you saw the results of that. But the amazing thing about this game, and I give this credit to the Ravens because I don't even have no explanation for it, but they actually still had a chance to win the game.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
They had a chance to win the game, and for the 3rd week in a row, number 22 put that ball on the turf. 3rd fumble and
three games.
And a huge fumble.
Yeah. Yep.
Big fumble, just like in the Buffalo game. Big fumble. Game changing, you know, fumble, man. And so there's some things that are taking place that are really weird. I mean, Derrick Henry fumbling like that is weird. The Ravens not really. You know what, man? This is a game that really makes you. This game can mess you up. The way they dominated us, it can really mess your head up, and you start to think, man, our defensive line, man. I mean, like, can this line really hold up? I mean, and then you start thinking about the offensive line, and I started thinking about, you know, the Ravens really haven't put that much emphasis on building up that offensive line. I started looking at the draft since we had Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering how many offensive linemen have they drafted or at least in the early rounds. And, you know, we got Tyler Linderbaum, first round pick, and we got Rosengarten, a 2nd round pick. I mean, but after that, in the Lamar Jackson era, you don't have any real high offensive linemen that they've chosen, you know, real high up. And I mean, even a Rosengarten in the 2nd round, knowing that the Ravens are always a perennial playoff team, our 2nd round draft picks is down the bottom of the 2nd round.
Yeah.
So to select a Rosengarten in the 2nd round, you still talking about 30-something players gone in the 1st round and 30-something gone in the 2nd round. And then you grab this guy. And I think I saw where there was already 10 or 11 offensive linemen drafted before Rosengarten, and then you get him. I mean, they haven't really invested. To me, I don't think they have invested in the lines. Detroit destroyed our lines. Cleveland destroyed the offensive line in that game. And so, very disappointing. But I do recall feeling the way of the previous season when I saw them kind of get beat up really bad, and I thought that the things I saw were not able to be during that season. So again, we have to. A lot of times it's about matchups. Sometimes some teams match up really well against you. Maybe that's the case here. But for this to be on national TV, Monday Night Football, everybody watching, Detroit 15-2. I mean, this decisive for the
it just was ugly, and it was just hard to watch. You know what I'm saying? It was hard to watch. It was hard to like you say, you're looking at the trenches.
I'm hearing some
feedback.
Yeah. Crackling noise.
Yeah, China. Trying to do too much.
Yeah.
But you're looking at the trenches. The offensive defensive lines is really where this game is won and lost. You know what I'm saying? Like you say, the offensive line just got dominated. 7 sacks.
Yeah.
I don't know how many yards they rushed for. It don't even matter.
No.
It don't even matter at this point.
Close to somewhere near 250 is what they rushed for.
Yeah, they rushed for.
Yeah, I think we're like around 80 or something like that.
Which is horrible.
Yeah.
But the thing too is it's a Detroit is a team that is on the come up. They were a team that was predicted to go to Super Bowl last year. So these are not your uncle's Detroit Lions.
No.
This is not the 0-16 Lions. This is not that. These guys are hungry. They are dominant up front. They're fast on the back end, on the defensive side. They get after that football. You know what I'm saying? They making plays. They aggressive. Even the fumble. The fumble on Henry. Just the I can't think his name. The defensive end.
Hutchinson.
He got the end. And what they call that? When you the defensive end and you protecting the outside.
Mm-hmm.
The term they use for that. But he's that. He's doing that. Right? I apologize for I'm blanking right now. I'm still pissed off. But and he's engaged with the lineman.
Right.
He got off of the block, got back into the play, and came right in and punched the ball out.
Got him from behind. Yeah.
Got him from behind. You know what I'm saying? And I get Derrick Henry is trying to make a play. He's trying to make something happen at that time. He understands the importance of the possession.
Yeah.
That we got to score. Like we have to go down here and score this time. And sometimes when you in the battle, you got tunnel vision. You only can see what's in front of you. So Hutchinson coming from behind him, he don't even have a clue that he back there, and he got the ball out here. He's trying to make a play, trying to make a move because they great bring him down. So he just trying to get a couple extra yards out the deal, and bam, So you fought Derrick Henry because he's a veteran, and he should know better. But at the same time, you know he's trying to make a play. He's trying to make something happen. you know, and it's like we've been saying it the last couple of weeks, man. These are games of inches. You know what I'm saying? And you fumble the ball on that side of the field
Yeah.
at that time in the game, and you put them directly in scoring position. It's tough to overcome that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Tough to overcome that, man. And so we know who Derrick Henry is. You know, we know his history. You know, we know his we know he gonna make more plays than he doesn't. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that it's something that's gonna be in his head where he not gonna be able to carry the ball, but it's something that's got to be addressed for sure. You know what I'm saying? And whether and I heard him saying it last night. You know, he got to get in the film. He got to get better. You know what I'm saying? But again, you know, Derrick Henry is a guy that we really gonna need in November, December when the weather is cold. When you want your big running back, you know, to kind of eat the clock and carry that load for you. You know, but what has to happen before that is the offensive line got to get better. You know, they got to protect Lamar. He should never be hit 7 times or sacked 7 times. I don't know how many times they hit him, but he got sacked 7 times. You know, they spied him. You know, and you know, and let me say this, because you got people that's just kind of novice. You know, they just kind of watch sports and kind of think everything is copycat. Everybody can't do that. Everybody can't just sit somebody and spy Lamar, because number one, you gotta be quick and athletic enough to catch him. You know what I'm saying? And it's not a lot of linebackers that I would put my money on one-on-one in open field with Lamar Jackson. He gonna win that battle 8 out of 10 times.
Right.
And last night was the 2. You know what I'm saying? Where, man, Detroit just did a great job, man. They had a good game plan. They bottled them up. They didn't really let them get outside the pocket.
Yeah.
You know, they kept him kind of neutralized where he really couldn't get out and make plays.
Yeah.
You know, and so while we mad at the Ravens, you got to give Detroit some credit.
Oh yeah.
For the way they came out here and played, man. I mean, and really, because we gonna beat up the Ravens, because we watch them. You know, we watch the Ravens more closely than any other team. So, and we definitely gonna beat them up. You know, and again, man, you know, I know, man. Like you say, the traffic was backed up over there at 695, trying to get to that key bridge. People trying to jump off that bridge, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
People running down the harbor, jumping in the water, and
Man. Oh man.
you know, they can't take it.
Yeah, man. They popping pills and pushing it down, killer. Oh man, it's bad. It's real bad. It's been real bad.
All the hospitals over flooded.
Over flooded, man. Emergency.
People losing it.
People standing outside the emergency rooms like they used to do back in the day, standing in line to get in the Odells, man. Ridiculous. It was ridiculous, man. And then, you know, and then again, and we talked about those matchups. I mean, this is a Detroit team that lost to Green Bay this year.
Mm-hmm.
Green Bay turned around and lost to Cleveland.
Cleveland, yeah.
The Ravens spanked Cleveland. So these matchups, and if you look at all of that, it don't even make sense.
Mm-mm.
You can't make sense of it. And you know, but man, I mean, this game that the Ravens went through, man, it makes you question things. You know, they look so much more physical.
Yeah.
Ravens.
Yeah.
Yeah, the physicality difference in that game, man, was noticeable.
Yep.
You know, and So these kind of games are rough. But again, I've seen some things like this take place before, during some previous seasons where I just thought that the Ravens were pretty much done and things cannot be rectified. Uh, I still think that the Ravens are not as physical as they make us out to be. They always talk about how physical the Ravens defense is. I
Yeah.
don't the physicality is there when you look at the players you
Mm-mm.
have. I don't really see it. I mean, Roquan ain't really been that guy. He did it against Cleveland last week, but he hasn't really been that guy that we saw coming over when we first made the trade. And then when you think about physicality, I mean, Kyle Hamilton out there laying the wood. I mean, who else out there that you would view as being really physical uh, on that Ravens team? On that defense, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't say nobody.
Yeah. So I
Mhm.
that could be a and again, we talked about it earlier. Baltimore fans know what physicality is when it comes to defense.
Oh yeah.
We know that for sure. We've been with these Ravens during the Ray Lewis era. We know what physicality is.
Hmm.
Seen Bray, we seen T Sizzle, we seen Bolware, we seen Saragusa, Ed Reed, Bernard Pollard. Bernard Pollard was out there murdering people. He wasn't with the Ravens that long, but for that run, man, he was knocking people out on. I mean,
Yeah.
the Ravens has been a physical team, for as long as we've known them. I think you mentioned that the Ravens defense still had some dogs on there on Lamar's first year,
Hmm.
coming into the first year, because we were still making that transition from a defensive team uh, until Lamar took over. But man, a game like this, man, really make you question the squad, and you know how hyped and amped the fans were, and even the media coming into this season. A lot of people picking the Ravens as the best in the AFC, and we're going to make it to the Super Bowl this year. We've known how the Ravens has done the previous years, but man, this game, and again, I ain't never in my life seen a 38-30 game that was a game that was totally dominated.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, 8-30, and yet and still, the Ravens had a chance to win the game. Amazing, just amazing to me. And because of that fact, I mean, I tip my hat to the Ravens to be able to still be in a position to win this game when obviously the game plan that they had weren't really working right. Detroit's game plan was on point.
Mhm.
You got Goff, who reminds me of a young Flacco, really. The way he's in the way he moves. Man, we didn't put any pressure on that guy.
Mm-mm.
We put no pressure on him. The guy could just turn around and hand the ball off. And then when he did go back to pass, no pressure. It looked so easy the way they played the game. It looked so easy. And I don't know if I ever seen the Ravens get that. That was a thrashing, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a thrashing.
Yeah. Yeah. It was definitely a beat down.
Beat that. We had our man from ESPN there, the Maryland guy went to Maryland. What's his name? Uh,
What are you talking about? Damn. I know you
game.
talking
Yeah, the game was on ESPN and I think even an ABC or whatever. You could have had two choices. I was on the NBC game, and at the end of the game, he was there. Doing the interviews and everything. And I mean, he's a University of Maryland guy, and I believe he's a Ravens guy. And so it was a real nice setup for him to to be there interviewing Lamar after the game and all that kind of stuff, you know. But man, but this was a thrashing, and I'm somebody I know came out and said, I ain't saying no names, but came out and said Zach Orr might be gone before Halloween.
Yeah.
I
wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised, man.
You have any idea who said that?
Yeah. I kind of heard the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard the same thing you did, you know.
Yeah.
Scott Van Pelt. See, still a guy good for something.
Yeah.
Scott Van Pelt. CB, what's up, brother? Charlie Brooks, my guy, Charles Brooks.
Okay, CB.
Michael Scales, homeboy, what's up? You got people checking in.
Yeah.
Talk my homies out. You know. Yeah, Stephen A was there with a what do you have, like on a fuchsia color suit or something?
Oh, is that right? Okay.
I know it was bright.
Wow.
I mean, I yeah. Let me see if I can find a picture of that.
Man, if he,
you know, Stephen A. Hollywood now.
And yeah, and the thing is, man, what is he saying on his show about the Ravens after he witnessed that?
I didn't even watch because I know he went in. I know he went in.
On some of the running plays, I saw Ravens defensive linemen like 7-8 yards downfield getting pushed by their offensive line.
Unbelievable.
I mean, I'm like, this is crazy.
Unbelievable.
And this is when we knew what they were going to do.
Yeah.
It was nothing to guess about. And yet and still, it was a tough game to watch.
Yeah, it definitely was that.
Yeah. So
let me see if I can pull this thing up here. You know, let me see. But yeah, you know, it was hard to watch.
Yeah, it was
ugly, man. It you know, goodness gracious.
Yeah. So what you think about Zach Orr, man? What's I mean, a lot of people. I know you said about the social media and is that there goes Stephen A. Yeah.
That's he had a whole suit on like that yesterday.
There you go. Yeah.
His whole suit was fuchsia.
Yeah.
Ain't that what they call it?
That's about right.
Yeah. It is a pregame, so you know I don't know what that face was about.
He had that.
He was already mad. He was already pissed off.
This was a big moment. So he came out with his gear on. You know, he like
no time.
I'm
ready to get on stage with the Temptation.
Yeah, he was ready. Motown, you know, Detroit coming.
Motown review. Let me see. The Lions came to town like a dad who had heard his son was acting up and gave him some act right. Yeah. Yeah, but I ain't gonna take too much more of that from you. You know, it's still a guy talking all this nonsense. Got a lot to say tonight, man. When his team won, you know, he was Easter fresh. Yeah, he was dressed for the Preakness. Yeah, he probably was more fitting to be at the Preakness up there on Pimlico.
Right.
Yeah, but it's you know, damn. You know, the adjectives, I don't want to do a whole lot of cursing tonight. I did a lot of that last night watching.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, I did a lot of cursing, man, and just like you say, you know, we as Ravens fans, you know, we were kind of used to a certain style of football.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't win pretty. It was always ugly. You know, we knew the defense was going to be physical. You know, offensive line play was physical. We could run the football. If we couldn't do nothing else, we could run it. And you know, and we still can run the ball. You know, we got Lamar, we got Henry. And again, it's September. So I'm not writing the season off. But the reality of this thing is, you know, football is a week to week reality. So you go from Sunday to Sunday or Monday to Sunday or however. and you got all week to kind of stew on what you just saw. You know what I'm saying? And damn, it just wasn't pretty.
No.
You know what I'm saying? It just wasn't pretty last night. And damn,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
damn,
yeah.
you
That's
know,
pretty much the answer right there.
yeah, this damn. But
Yeah,
yeah, so let's talk about Zach Orr.
yeah. That's what I want to talk
You know,
about.
let's go ahead and talk about Zach Orr because
Hit
I
on
know his seat is hot.
him, and I just want to say this real quick because I had a couple of people texting me during the game, and
Hmm.
both of those individuals said that Zach Orr has to go.
Yeah, 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 and I've heard that quite a bit
Yeah,
since the first week,
exactly.
since the Buffalo game. I've been hearing it, and I'm not one. I don't get big on firing coaches and
Mm,
all that stuff because from where we sit, we don't know what's going on in that building.
no.
We don't know what's going on. Like a lot of times, man, you can have the right scheme and the right game plan and you just don't have the right players.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? But in a professional sports, you can't fire the players. You can't just get rid of players like that. So coaches are usually the ones that take the hit when stuff is not going right. You know what I'm saying? And again, I don't know what the preparation is. I know that you can't lose a Meta BK, you know, and
Van Noy.
Van Noy, exactly, who both of them guys get to the quarterback. They do apply pressure. So when Ray Lewis and them was around, it used to be that next man up, next man up, next man. It's easier said than done. You know what I'm saying? Because again, I always talk about my amateur coaching, you know, and knowing sometimes, man, when you got to look down that bench to get the next man, the drop off is going to be significant.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? The drop off is going to be significant. Now, Joe the fan may not even think that way because they say, "Oh, y'all getting paid. You got to step up there and do the job." But if you're not capable of doing the job that the guy in front of you is doing, it's going to be a drop off, and an adjustment had to be made.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And so again, I I I know Zach Orr's seat is scorching hot. I know he's feeling the pressure because that's what everybody's talking about. The defense. You know
mhm,
what I'm saying? The defense and then again it's the history of what the Ravens have always been, right? Ravens are known nationally, whether rightly or wrongly, for Ray Lewis and that era of Raven football. Ray Lewis been gone since 2012. Let
uh,
me. So it's over 10 years. Ray hadn't been here in 10 years,
wow.
right? And the identity still remains.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so sometimes we got to keep that in mind. These are not those Ravens. These are not those guys. And when number 8 took over, the identity of the team kind of changed. We became a team for the longest time. We were a team that couldn't score 15, 20 points. We wasn't gonna get it. They won the Super Bowl. Ray and them talking about get us a touchdown.
Yeah.
Get us 7. Get us 10. Come on, man.
Right.
Come on, man.
Was
So,
Zay first receiver in their 30-year history to ever made the Pro Bowl? Right.
that they drafted.
Right.
That they drafted.
They drafted. Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. So Zach Orr is rightly in the hot seat. When you take on a job like that with a team with the expectations here, You
Yeah.
got a 2-time MVP on your team, right? I believe Derrick Henry won an MVP too, didn't he?
He
When he was
may
with Tennessee.
he may have. I'm not
I
sure.
think the year he rushed for 2,000, I think he got an MVP. If he didn't, he was close. But he's a perennial. He's going to the Hall of Fame.
But he
Let's
at least
just say that.
player of the year. Yeah.
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 So you know, we're not talking about uh teams a team that the expectation is so low. No, the expectation here has been Super Bowl. And you know, coming off of last year, coming off of the year before, you know, the expectation is going to remain Super Bowl. And the fact that, you know, the defense is not performing to the level that they're expected to. They are not physical. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how they preparing. You know, I don't know what practice looks like. You know, I don't know what because sometimes, you know, you got to take it back and you got to have physical practice. So if you're not practicing and you're not physical in practice, it's sometimes hard to cut that switch on. And you get in the game and just be like, all right, well, now it's time to be physical. Like, nah, sometimes, man, some players need that to be ingrained in them. You know, this is how we do it. This is how we do it. Everything got to be fast. Everything got to be physical. You know, I don't know that he's training them that way. I don't know what his offense or his defensive mindset is. Right? He's a young coach. You know, he was a Raven at once upon a time. He was a Raven. I believe he was around. I know he played with Suggs.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was around with Ray Lewis and them guys, but he was around with Suggs. You know, maybe Haloti Nada. So he was around some guys that got it done. You know, and you know what they call it, the Raven way. Everybody got a way. When you create an identity, you got the Ravens way. You got the Patriots way. You know, everybody got a way. So and then you just the expectation becomes that. You know, and like we were saying earlier, we hear from where we sit at, you know, from fans, from a fan perspective, from people that we just watch the team and we invested in the team from an emotional standpoint. The expectation is that the Ravens going to be physical. You know, they're going to play defense. You know, they going to make stuff happen. And I think you said it earlier. You know, we spoiled, man. We spoiled, man. We had Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Suggs, Nada.
Yeah.
You know, before them guys, we had Boulware,
Yeah.
Sharper,
Right.
Rod Woodson.
Eric Gusa, Chris
Bruce.
McAllister.
I mean, man,
List goes on.
we've been spoiled. You know what I'm saying? We've been spoiled, man. And when you see the expectation is that's got to carry on. You know what I'm saying? You are walking in to greatness. You know what I'm saying? When you walk into that locker room, man, you the expectation is you filling some big shoes. You know what I'm saying? And you can't come in there and give subpar performances and expect that it's going to be okay. You know what I'm saying? And I told you, I seen a video. I wish I'd have saved it because I'd have played it. Where the dude, man, he was harassing. Uh,
He was-
he was he was harassing. What's my man, the cornerback,
Humphrey.
Humphrey. Harassing that brother. He walking out. Told him he was trash. He couldn't guard. Said his podcast sucked. Like the podcast, he talking about the game. He talking about he brought the man podcast into the after the game last night.
He said it was trash.
Said his podcast was trash, man. The brother was hurt. The brother was hurt, man. You can see the hurt in his face, the hurt in his eyes when he was yelling at this dude. He was hurting, man. He didn't call the man podcast trash after the game. This ain't the podcast ain't had nothing to do with the game. But that's what happens, man. We be so emotional. Nothing is off limits. I'm surprised he ain't go at this newborn baby or his wife or something.
Right.
You know, because that's the type of stuff we be doing. You know, we go hard because we want them to hurt like we hurt.
Exactly.
We want them to hurt like us. And
Exactly.
remember what I said after the Buffalo loss? Zach Orr should be locked in the castle until Sunday. There should be no home for him. He should be camped out at the Ravens facility, trying to figure this thing out. Especially now with his job on the line, because I know his job on the line.
It's on the line.
I know his job is on the line. And yeah, you're right. He may not make it to Halloween. At this rate, he might not make it to Halloween, man. He might be trick or treating with us, taking our kids out trick. He might be walking his kids around with us out the mall or something. Do they still do that? Shit, I don't even know if there's any malls left. But you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. But Zach Orr is in trouble.
You said something. You said something when you talked about. You mentioned preparation.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where he may get in trouble. You know, you also mentioned you look down the bench and you's like, okay, who this guy ain't doing it. Let me see what I got, and there ain't nothing down there. I mean, but I think the thing that'll get him fired is if his preparations continue to be subpar. Yeah. If he's not properly preparing for those teams, I mean, you have offensive coordinators who got weapons and who's got schemes, and they come in with a game plan to match the team that they're going to play. Mm-hmm. And if your game plan is consistently not working, your job can be on the line. And there's been major complaints about Zach, at least 2 of these first 3 games. And again, it is still early. And again, we've been through this last year.
Yeah.
With the defense playing subpar. Last year, they made a switch and put Kyle back there, but Kyle been back there pretty much this year.
Yeah, he been back there this year.
Yeah. Still having trouble. So, yeah, the seat is high for Zach.
Yeah, shit. They might have to put Kyle on the line.
Might.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, he is the best defensive player they got.
He is.
Kyle Hamilton is the best defensive player.
Easily.
And you had to put him in position to be successful. You know what I'm saying? You had to put him in position to be the playmaker that he is. You know, and I think, you know, like when you think of playmaking safeties, you know, I think of you know, Ronnie Lotz and, you know, Ed Reed. Ed Reed made most of his plays on the back end.
Yeah.
But you think of a Troy Polamalu who would get on that line, he would rush the quarterback, he would make plays in the back. But all that comes from also having the pieces around him. You know what I'm saying? And again, I was hopeful in the offseason that the Ravens would have got a pass rusher. You know, Clowney was on the market. Clowney did well when he was here a couple years ago. He fit this team perfect.
Yeah.
You know, Clowney. Smith was on the another former Raven.
Yeah.
Smith, you know what I'm talking about. What's his first name?
Yeah.
Ladarius? No, not Ladarius. But you know what I'm talking about. I'm sorry. I apologize for not getting the names right. But he was on the market.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He can get after the quarterback. Like, you have to have somebody to go get that quarterback. You know, and think about, you always got 2. You know, whether you got a defensive end and an outside linebacker that can get there, that keep their offensive line honest. You know what I'm saying? That, like, I watched them I watched the highlight of our guy we were talking about last week from Cleveland.
That monster.
I seen the highlight of the game yesterday. Green Bay had 3 people on him. 3 people. They triple teamed that guy to keep him off that quarterback.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if you got 3 people on one, that's
Yeah.
going to leave something else to get. You know what I'm saying? But we don't have nobody that other teams really fear that's going to get after the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? And it's a luxury for a team when you got 4 linemen, when you got the front 4 that can put so much pressure on your quarterback that it frees up the linebackers to make plays. The DBs are much more effective. You know what I'm saying? And you just got 4. You just rushing 4. You're not even doing no exotic schemes and all that stuff. I mean, you could do so much if your front 4 is getting pressure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the Ravens, man, are just a team that's for a long time haven't really had that. You know, they haven't really had the luxury to send 4. You know, just play with the front 4 and take your chances with that. You know, but we haven't had that. And so in a game like last night, it just was telling. You know, it was really telling, man, that you look at Detroit and they were dominant on both lines. You know, offensive and defensive lines, they was dominant. You're looking at I looked at a few of their run plays.
Yeah.
And their linemen are pushing people 4 or 5 yards down the field, man. I'm like, yo, this is craziness. You know,
Consistently.
they getting hands on the linebacker.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know how Zach Orr is going to right the ship because clearly it's on him. You know, he's going to be the fall guy. You know, they're not going to fire John. Now, if they fire John Harbaugh, I will be in shock.
Yeah.
But I think if somebody going to go, Zach Orr is going to be the one to go.
Oh yeah.
He's going to be clearly the first one to go.
Yeah.
And I just think, you know, because like you said, we went through this last year with Zach Orr was kind of on the hot seat last year. You know, and they brought in Dean Pease to kind of help him out, just to kind of oversee things and kind of help him out. And I think, you know, what happened last year was when they was able to put Kyle Hamilton back in the back end, that kind of changed things. I don't know whose decision that was. I know I was calling for it. You know, I don't know that they listened to me. I know they watched the show,
Yeah, they watch.
but I know they don't listen to me. They probably they don't know what the hell they don't. But they was listening because they pushed them back there and it changed things.
Yeah, they made the
Right.
move.
But yeah, Zach Orr. Yeah, I mean, it's you know, Halloween is just 4 weeks away, 4 or 5 weeks away,
Yeah.
and I think there's a bye week before that. And usually the bye week is when you see some changes when teams are struggling. You know what I'm saying? I think the bye week is after week 7, 6 or 7. Let me look at the schedule. 'Cause I
Yeah.
know it's early this year.
Yeah, I think ain't 6 weeks, week 6, something like that. The early bye.
Yeah, so it's after game 6. So after game 6 is the bye week. So Zach Orr basically got 3 weeks. He got 3 more games.
Right. To prove him.
Kansas City, Houston, and the Rams. And
Right.
none of them games are gimmies.
No.
None of them. Even
Not a-
Houston is struggling. Houston is tough.
Yeah.
You know, Houston is tough, man. The Rams are tough.
Yeah.
Kansas City is Kansas City, regardless of the record.
Yeah.
They still got Mahomes back there. You know, love him or hate him, he's still Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they better respect that.
You
So
better. Yeah, it's rough. I saw where the 7 sacks that they had last night was the most against Lamar. Pittsburgh back in 2021 sacked him 7 times also. So I don't know what the Ravens are going to do. And again, I've been through this before when I thought that things weren't fixable. I mean, I
Mhm.
offensive line as being subpar. I the guy Voorhees, I don't have confidence in him. Falele,
Mhm.
confidence in him. I'm looking at Rosengarten being overpowered. The dude from Cleveland that we talking about had his way with him. He also had his way with Stanley. I mean, I think Stanley's a little off this year. He
Mhm.
getting beat more than usual. That offensive line, even Linderbaum, man, I seen him toss his little ass around a little bit. He's not a real big center, He's
Mhm.
and all I know is that you cannot have your franchise quarterback being sacked 7 times in a game. You
Mhm.
that is totally unacceptable, and and we've seen that offensive line get dominated 2 games in a row because Cleveland dominated them. And you notice that with talented guys like I'm sorry, I can't even remember the guy's name from Cleveland. With Hutchinson, our man from Cleveland, they don't just keep them in one location.
Mhm.
Them along that line. One time you see him on the right edge, then you might see him on the left edge. Sometimes you see him in the middle, depending on what they believe the call might be. And so he actually dominated Stanley and Rosengarten, our Cleveland guy. And
Yeah.
yeah, so you cannot have Lamar Jackson at this stage of his career with the Ravens supposedly a serious threat for the Super Bowl to be getting sacked 7 times in a game, for us to be on the 2-yard line and we got to go into some technology plays to try to get in the end zone instead of just turning around and handing that ball to number 22 and him bulldozing his way in that end zone. The offensive line has been so subpar that even Todd Monken know I can't turn around and hand this ball to Derrick Henry. And if I do it, I'm only gonna do it one time. He gets stopped for a 2-yard loss, and here we go with the trying to get into the end zone. So, um, we talk about Zach, but that offensive line, man, it's a major issue right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said,
Yeah,
both lines are suspect. It's both lines. The trenches. They're not getting it done in them trenches
they
at
not,
all.
they not.
And that's, I mean, you win and lose games with the big uglies, as they
Yeah,
used to call them. I don't know if they still call them that.
no,
But you have to get pressure.
got to, man.
You gotta put pressure on the defensive line that you're going against. Because remember, it just used to be, we're gonna dominate them. You're gonna beat them into submission.
Yeah,
Just pound them, and then they just they just giving up.
yeah,
They just beat them into submission. But again, you gotta grow too. You know what I'm saying? And we talk about Zach Orr is on the hot seat, and then you go right up the line. Zach Orr. Harbaugh. Harbaugh is a guy that there's a lot of fans that say he needed to go years ago. And truth be told, he'd have been gone had Lamar not saved him in his rookie year. When he benched Flacco.
yes.
You know what I'm saying?
No, Flacco got injured. Remember,
Yeah, You're right. You're right. I'm sorry.
injured his hip.
Yeah, he had a bad hip injury.
Yeah, hip
You
injury.
know. Yeah. Well, I forgot. You know. Yeah, I forgot about that. He probably got that hip injury making a baby. I mean,
That's that's right. That's probably why his play went downhill, man.
yeah,
He doing that.
yeah, he making them babies, man. He probably messing threw his hip out making babies,
Exactly.
you know. But yeah, Harbaugh, is somebody who from a fan's perspective, I see the fans been calling for Harbaugh's head for a long time,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, and a lot of the losses over the years, they pin it pretty much on his neck. The fans do. I was one that always said, I didn't think Harbaugh would face that wrath because when you look at his record, he wins more than he loses. He's one of the top winningest coaches in the league currently. He's the second longest tenured coach in the league behind Tomlin up in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So, you know, he has those things going for him, but it's a what have you done for me lately type of league, you know. And I know the Ravens as an organization kind of believe in number one, they're loyal. There's a lot of loyalty there. They believe in continuity, that they don't go making changes hastily, which is why they've had the success that they've had because sometimes, change is not again, when you're a fan, you don't really get to see what's going on in the building.
Right.
So while we are living and dying with every win and loss, they are inside that building. They know the tenor of the building. They know the tenor of the locker room. So if they feel like the coach haven't lost the locker room and that the locker room they understand what why they're winning and losing games and it may be something that fans may not understand. And they'll say, Harbaugh Harbaugh is safe. You know, we can't win because of X, Y, and Z. We got a problem with this, and this. And it's beyond his control. But eventually, the piper has to get paid.
Mhm.
The piper has got to get paid. So when you lose like you lost to Buffalo, right? When you lose like you lost to Detroit, and again, we talking about 3 games. We only 3 games in,
Right.
right? So the conversation will change because I'm telling you, I'm looking at Halloween. I'm looking at Halloween as the mark. As a matter of fact, the bye week, because the bye week is going to come before Halloween.
Right.
So the bye week is what I'm looking at. So these next 3 games are going to say a lot about what happens after the bye week. Because you get the bye week, I'm sure, you know, if things have not improved, there will be some changes made up there in Orange Mills. I'm positive of that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have no inside information. That's just what my gut tells me.
Yeah.
That's just what my gut tells me. That if they don't go out here and fix something in the next 3 games, really in the next game, because you lose to Kansas City, you 1-3.
Yeah.
It's not impossible to get back and get into the playoffs, but it's a hell of a climb up. You know what I'm saying? It's a hell of a hill to climb. So when you talk about uh, Zach Orr, whose seat was hot last year,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? So and he's hot again this year, and there's only 3 games in. Zach Orr has got to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And like you say, you are the head coach of the defense. So you have got to figure this thing out. And like I said, he should be at the castle right now. He should be at the castle right now. He should be watching film on, I don't know how many screens he got in his office, but he should have him and all his defensive coaches should be in that room. They should be watching film. They should have the sports mix on somewhere, listening to what we talking about, and watching film of Kansas City. But they should have the sports mix on. Everybody should have it on.
Yeah.
Let me say that out there. And if you're watching, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button. You know, show your boys some love. You know,
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all.
I mean, when you think about, I was just looking at when it comes to NFL offenses, the Ravens, when you look at it from a points scored perspective, they're the top league. They average 7 points a game. So you know that the offense can produce. We don't really have any big issues with that. We know that offense can produce. But if you got a team that's averaging 37 points a game, I mean, we done put 2 40-point games up and a 30-point game, and you 1-2. I mean, that's saying something about your defense. You clearly should have won both 40-point games. You putting up 40 points in an NFL game, that's supposed to be your win.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, even 30 points is a good amount of points to put on the board. All you need to do is have a defense, man, that don't have to be spectacular. Just be solid. The defense that can be solid and let this offense go to work. But man, to be 1-2 and averaging 30, to be the leading scorer averaging 37 points a game, you talk about pressure now, and you talking about social media going crazy. If the Ravens drop to 1-3, what we're hearing now is going to be more.
Oh my goodness, Key Bridge.
Oh man,
Key Bridge, man, Key Bridge, Bay Bridge,
any bridge,
Hanover Street Bridge,
all of that. They might as well go ahead and bring the National Guard in to protect them bridges. 1-3, especially if it's an ugly loss.
Oh man.
And a lot of times when you have you notice a lot of times when you have a dominant team, and I'll swing over to boxing. You have a dominant boxer like a Mike Tyson, you know, where intimidation is a huge part of his aura. And I mean, pretty much, man, when Buster Douglas did what he did to him, for all intents and purposes, we never saw that Mike Tyson again.
Nah,
he was
that was that.
That was that. And you know, so when you get a brutal beatdown, sometimes it takes away the mystique. That's why it's important for these Ravens to really bounce back. I mean, you know, when my man Tarver took that microphone from the rep and yelled out those things, Roy, and knocked Roy out, that was it.
That was it.
We never saw Roy Jones nowhere near that level again.
Never.
And so, you know, I want these Ravens to step back up and show that they still that team that we all think they were, and that the whole media thought they were going to be this year. They need to come back and do something good. You know, I don't think that the Cleveland game was a good measuring stick. I mean, our offensive line got dominated, but Cleveland is Cleveland.
Yeah.
They don't have a whole lot of firepower. Joe Flacco, I think, in his next birthday he'll be 67. You know, I mean, so what were they? I mean, they scored what, 13 against Green Bay or something? That was or something. So that wasn't a real good measuring game, you know. But we played two elite teams, the Buffalo Bills and the Detroit Lions. They are serious Super Bowl contending teams, and we couldn't do anything to stop Buffalo, and we couldn't do anything to stop Detroit. The defense has not been able to stop any of them, and even despite the 7 sacks, despite the time of possession that Detroit had, running the ball. Despite all of that, the Ravens were still in a position to win because offensively, they were still able to put points on the board.
Yeah.
And you know, if the Ravens had gotten down to that 2-yard line and been able to convert that, you know, I mean, we had opportunities. You talk about the Derrick Henry fumble. We had opportunities to really win that game offensively, despite the offensive line. And Ravens fans should understand that our offensive line is not really as good as it seemed like they were.
Right.
Lamar Jackson is going to automatically make the offensive line look better than what they are based on his capability when it comes to pass blocking. I mean, he has that ability to escape tackles and sacks and do all kind of miraculous things in that pocket. He showed some of that last night.
Yeah.
Out of some sacks and making some tremendous throws downfield under pressure. So the offense is there, but it's all going to be pointing to Zach Orr to be able to get it together. And if he can't get it together, yeah, I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Bye week,
Halloween, one or the other.
Yeah, trick or treat, whatever. I mean, you know, fucking Charlie Brown kept going. What Charlie Brown get every time he went? I got juju beans. I got some. What you, Charlie Brown? What you, I got rock. Man, come on now. Come on, Zach.
Come on, Zach. Pull it together, brother.
That was Zach.
I'm pulling for you.
You know,
because you fouled this one up.
Right.
You know, you might be coaching at old Mill High School or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you could drop that far. You might never get a job again.
Never.
You know, that brother on the other side that was their defensive coordinator, he over there, he cooking.
Yeah.
You know, dealing with Lamar and offensive, and even when the pressure got on Lamar and Lamar was trying to get up out of there, they had excellent containment on Lamar. I mean, just their strategy, and I'm just hoping that, you know, these teams come in and they do really well, and it's a copycat league. We say that, and we do that, and they're gonna look at this film.
Yeah, for sure.
City is looking. They was looking at the game last night and already digging in the film, and hoping that they can do the same thing that these Lions did against the Ravens. So the Ravens need to come back and show some ability to protect Lamar. They're going to sure enough have to show some ability to stop the run. Everybody, other teams probably not as equipped. I think the Lions had a couple of rookies on their offensive line.
Yeah.
You know, and they kept talking about these rookies. Well, I saw Al Lyman 6, 7, sometimes 8 yards down the field on running plays.
That's horrible.
That's terrible, man. I saw Jenkins, the guy they got from the Raiders in the offseason. You know, ain't no more Pierce in that hole there with his big burly self, you know, clogging up that middle. It's tough, man, when you can't stop the run. It makes it so much easy for the other offense. I mean, it seemed like Jared Goff probably didn't even break a sweat back there. It was so easy for him. That was an easy win for a guy who's not that mobile, who can't really get around, yet he was not even touched back there. And you got the most dynamic quarterback in the history of the NFL with the highest passer rating, at least going into that game in NFL history. And the pressure was just relentless.
Yeah. And I just don't know. I just don't know, because, like, you know, it's just tough to it's tough to watch. Number one, to see. I mean, it just looked like they almost look hopeless at times. You know, because in the beginning it's tit for tat. You
Yeah.
score, we score. You score, we score. But it's that constant barrage. That constant pounding. When you get to the fourth quarter, it's almost like they beat you into submission.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And when they broke that 70, what was it, 70-yard run,
74, I think. Something like
74, something like that. It's almost like you can see it. You can see it, man. This is over.
yeah.
And like you said, with all of that going on, they still had opportunity
I love
to win the game. Still
Amazing.
had opportunity to win the game.
Yes.
And I think, with a quarterback as dynamic as Lamar Jackson, you're never out of a game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're never out of a game. But, all three facets of the game have to show up. Offense, defense, and special teams. And once again, there was another kick that did not make the kicking zone, or whatever that area is, the landing area, whatever.
Yeah. Mr. Luke.
And you giving field position
Yep.
to a team that's showing you they can get up and down the foot. They went 98 yards. They went 90 something yards twice, didn't
Twice.
they? So come on, man. So I mean, a team like that, field position is everything. Not being able to get off the field on third down.
It's critical.
When you got them third and long, and you giving up big plays.
Yep.
You're giving up fourth down plays.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And truthfully, when you are an offense and you keep your team on the field on fourth down, in some ways you basically saying to the defense, we don't respect y'all. We know you can't stop us.
Right.
We know you're not gonna stop it. So we're just gonna run it on full. Because that was us a couple years ago. That was the Ravens a couple years ago. They were keeping the offense, Lamar and them out on the fourth down. Lamar used to get pissed off. They take him off the field on fourth down.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But Zach Orr, Harbaugh, and the third one, DeCosta.
Oh yeah.
Now they're not gonna make a move on him
No.
in this part of the season. But Eric DeCosta is drafting these guys. Is he addressing the needs of the team? Is he in free agency bringing in the guys that the difference makers? You know what I'm saying? Defensively, again, to me, you should have brought in some pass rushers. Whether you did it through free agency, whether you went through the draft to do it, but you should have brought in pass rushers and guys that could create havoc on that defensive line, and then and linebackers.
Right.
You gotta have those type of guys. You know what I'm saying? And again, there's no way you should be able to put up 30 points and the game's being questioned. It shouldn't happen.
Exactly.
So the Ravens got to be averaging about 35 because they didn't put up 40, 40, and 30. 41, 40, and 30.
Yep.
So they're averaging over 30 points a game in 3 games. You know what I'm saying? It's no way.
You damn near averaging 40. 30.
Yeah, it's no way. No way they should be losing these games when you putting up that kind of production on offense. Right. You know what I'm saying? It just shouldn't happen. And I saw Marlon Humphrey, like he said, man, we're not good right now. We're not good right now. We gotta create havoc. We gotta create turnovers on defense. We're not doing none of that. We're not getting pressure. So yeah, them guys on that side of the ball got to do their part. You know, they got to do their part. But again, we here to kind of look at the whole picture.
Yeah.
We're looking at the whole picture. So, DeCosta, Harbaugh, Zach Orr,
Yeah.
all you guys are in the hot seat. And Zach Orr's seat is probably the hottest. And he got 3 weeks, if that.
Right.
That I think if things don't turn around before the bye week, he's in trouble. And he may know that. You know what I'm saying? He may know that. He may have known that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
After that Buffalo loss.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But Zach Orr, and I get it. He a former Raven and all that stuff, man. And his career ended prematurely due to injury and all that stuff. And he was able to find his niche in coaching. And he came up the ranks pretty quick.
Yeah.
To become the defensive coordinator. I mean, it happens. He's not the first young defensive. He's not the first young coordinator. We had head coaches that was young guys.
Oh yeah.
But so again, I don't know all that go into what's happening out there. Why he's not having the success that we would like him to have. But the seat is hot. You know what I'm saying? His seat is hot, and it's just what it is right now. So they're going to be looking at their defense with a fine magnifying glass, the finest of magnifying glasses. They're going to be talked about all week. They play Kansas City next Sunday at 4:00, so it's a game that a lot of people gonna have eyes on because it's that 4:00 game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's Kansas City, it's Baltimore, it's Lamar, it's Patrick Mahomes. So you got stars gonna be there, star studded. 2 former MVPs. You got a Super Bowl winning quarterback in Mahomes and the Kansas City and what that franchise has been doing the last few years. It's gonna be a big game, and both teams got 1 win and 2 losses. So somebody is going to be 1-3 Sunday evening around 8:00, 7:30. Somebody's going to have 1 win and 3 losses. And whichever side is going to be a lot of talk about what's next. What's going to happen after this loss. One of the teams is going to have those kind of conversations Sunday night into Monday morning.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna just say it, man. If Zach Orr, if things don't go the right way, he might not make that plane.
And
he might not make that plane back. And we hear these stories, about how a coach got fired, and we was on the plane and we didn't see Zach.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
He didn't fly back with the team.
Yeah, they put his ass on a Greyhound. You go ahead and get that, and you be back by Tuesday.
Right. I Greyhound before from a long. That ain't no fun, man.
I've heard. I ain't caught a Greyhound to nowhere but New York and Atlantic City.
Yeah, I was over there, and speaking of Kansas City, I was over in Missouri catching it. Back over here, man, it's a long ride, man. It's a long ride on the bus, and but by no means am I saying. I mean, as I sit here today looking at the Ravens, and even if they lose to Kansas City, who is still a quality team, the way I'm feeling right now, I still feel that this Ravens team is going to make the playoffs. I still believe that this Ravens team is going to win the division. Once you get to the big dance, the playoffs, anything can happen once you get to that point. So by no means am I tossing this team, into the river. But we're just speaking on what we saw and what we've seen thus far. And Kenny he always talk about the 4-game window that he always look at. We haven't played 4 games yet. We played Kansas City will be game 4. We'll be able to get a better view of what I mean. They could play Kansas City and lose a competitive game. It could be a well-fought game. So it's not about really whether they lose to Kansas City. It's more about how they play, how they compete in that game. Even in this past game, and even though they were dominated, I thought that Wiggins played well at the corner position. I thought that Kyle Hamilton always does his thing, man. He's out there. He's All-American. I thought he played well. I like the way those other defensive backs run around. I mean, Starks he's real solid as a rookie. Even TJ Tampa came in and was making some plays. I like the way he tackled. I like his physicality. So there were some bright spots out there in the game, despite everything going on. And again, to me, it was still incredible that the Ravens had a legitimate chance to win this game, despite all the time of possession and that run game that the Lions had, and no pass rush, and Lamar being sacked 7 times, and all these things, man. Luke can't hit the ball into the area. They get it at the 40, and we down on the 2 and can't push it across, and all these things, and the turnover, of course, Derrick Henry, and Lamar really threw a pick, but right to the dude, and he dropped it. So with all those things going on, this Ravens team, this Ravens offense was still ready and looked like they were ready to make that strike and be able to win this game. So as bad as it was, they still had an opportunity. And as bad as they have been, it's still very, very, very early in the season. And if your team is going to be playing at a subpar level, you would much rather for it to be at the beginning of the year than later on at the year or at the end of the year. So we'll see what happens. I still think this team will be heard from before the year's out.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's September football,
right?
I think too, with the way they handle the way that they handle the preseason, where your starters don't even really play in the preseason anymore. So they kind of getting tuned up in the first couple of games with respect to playing against other people when you're playing real live reps. Like I said, I don't know how much actual live hitting that they doing in practice anymore. Full pads. I don't know how hard they're going against each other. I know they competitive. The quarterback's not getting hit. They running from the bullets, but they're not getting hit by them. Until the games actually count. So you got that part of the game. Just the getting your bearings together in the first couple of games for the starters that haven't played pretty much since last year. And I know that the guys don't need to get in shape as far as physical shape, because the guys stay in shape pretty much all year. But it's a thing to get hit and to, what I'm saying, you gotta kind of rev up to that. If you haven't been hit since February, January, December something.
Yeah.
And you haven't faced them live bullets. And now, you thrown into the mix. Again, I don't want to make excuses. I don't want to make it sound like I'm making excuses for these guys, and because you get beat, you get beat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the it's obvious where the deficiencies are. You know, and it's in the interior. The offensive defensive line
Absolutely.
are the areas of concern, the main areas of concern. And you know, how do you fix that? You know, you is there a trade available? Is
Mm-hmm.
there somebody that you can pick up in a trade at this? I mean, it's still early. You
Right.
know, can you go out and find a pass rusher? Can you go out and can you go out there and shore up that offensive line? You know, one or two players. I don't know how to. I don't know how you go do that. You know what I'm saying? And the Ravens haven't been a team that's made a lot of midseason trades and upgrades to the team over the years. I mean, I can think of not many trades that they made that made a difference. Maybe the cornerback they got a couple years ago. Uh, I'm sorry with the names,
Yeah.
but you know the quarterback came from the Rams.
For the Rams, yeah.
And he was solid for the Ravens for a year and a half.
Real sticky hands.
Yeah, yeah, made some plays.
Peters.
Peters, yeah. You know, but I don't know again. So that put Eric DeCosta on the hot seat. You know, what is it that Eric DeCosta is going to do to improve the roster? You know, what moves is he going to make before the trade deadline? I think the trade deadline is somewhere around some point, sometime in November. You know, what is he going to do to improve the team?
Right.
You know, we talked about Zach Orr, you know, Harbaugh, of course. But what is DeCosta going to do to improve the team, to make a run? Because
Yeah.
you know, you build a team like this to make a run. You don't pay a Derrick Henry the kind of money you paid him to come over here to just go and you know, play the season out.
Right.
He didn't come here for that. You know, we know Derrick Henry got to improve. We know he got to play better. You know, so we again, it's September. You know, season is not over by a long shot.
I knew this game was bad when Derrick Henry was pissed after that fumble and he went over there to go slam his helmet up on the thing and lost his balance in the chair and flipped all over that thing, man. I said, man, this ain't looking good on national TV. We ain't looking too right now.
He can't even slam himself in the seat right.
Hey, he couldn't even get in the seat and start pouting. That's what kind of night it was, man.
Yeah, it's just bad.
It was a bad night.
Bad night.
Ravens was down there ready to score and Hickam that pressure again coming at Lamar. I think I don't know, he dropped the ball, then kind of kicked it and had to go and just fall on it. I'm like, man, this is not a good night for the Ravens. But again, I'm you know, despite what you hear us, we talking about this game, we talking about previous games, we still feel like these Ravens are a playoff team, and we feel like they will play better moving forward. So we're definitely not throwing them away by no means.
Mississippi State to the Natty says game over. Game over. Yeah, that game is over. We got another one Sunday.
Right.
Mississippi State to the Natty.
He said,
good luck with that.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. So is that Mississippi State football you talking or baseball? Talk to me. Mississippi State to the Natty. But yeah.
And what about this one guy, man, real quick? This one guy that the Ravens drafted from LSU as a guard, offensive guard, Emory Jones. And they drafted him, and he's been on the injured list. He got him in the 3rd round, and he's been on the injured list all year, coming out of LSU. So he's been playing with a quality program. I think he was a 3-year starter down there, and so maybe there's some potential for him to. I don't know when he's coming off of that injured list. Maybe they say he's versatile and he can play multiple positions on that line. So maybe he can step in and solidify that offensive line. We saw Detroit last night with a couple of rookies on the line.
Yeah.
I think so bringing that guy in, maybe Emory Jones can help solidify. You talked about trades, and if there's anybody else out there, maybe they can bring somebody in. But I think that offensive line, 2 weeks in a row they've been dominated. So you got to look at the personnel on that offensive line.
Yeah, yeah, this got to get better in the trenches.
Yeah,
Trench work got to get better.
got to get better.
And again, it's not going to be easy this week. Kansas City up. Kansas City's on the clock, so they gotta step up, man, and be ready to rock and roll. And Kansas City is desperate as well.
Yes, they are.
They 1-3 as well. So I mean,
Yeah.
1-2. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
1-2 as well. So they got a home game, so they're gonna be amped up and ready to roll.
They're gonna be playing with some urgency. And another thing that probably was a big blow. We talk about Matabike not playing, and we talk about Van Noy. And I mean, but the defense would have had improvement with that regard, but also Patrick Ricard didn't play. He was in, and I think that was also a substantial, a significant loss for the Ravens, not having him as that lead blocker, especially on those goal line situations. So hopefully Ricard can get back out there, because he is huge when it comes to leading Derrick Henry into those holes.
Yeah, and that's another point that I brought up earlier. It's hard to replace guys that are on the field a lot. We remember we used to say next man up, next man up, next man up. But sometimes the next man up ain't up to the job.
Right.
You know what I mean? And when you lose again, you lose a Patrick Ricard who was, in some people's eyes, maybe undervalued. We lose Ricard, we be all right without him. Not only Ricard, but the other tight end.
Well, absolutely. Likely.
I mean, and he was really coming on last year as the number one tight end.
Yeah.
So you got Likely out, you got Ricard out. The offensive line is not really producing at that level because you don't have Ricard as that extra body to block,
Right.
to do some of that dirty work.
Right.
Likely takes pressure off the quarterback. He's able to get out in space. So it's a lot of things that go into, next man up. And a lot of times, next man up is just not next man ready.
Right.
And there's a learning curve, man. And this, so, and it's not Madden. This is not fantasy football. This is not, video games. This is real life, man. And these guys, they get out there and you expect them to do the job. And like we said earlier, man, we were spoiled because I thought about how much dedication and how much discipline you had to be a part of that 2000 Ravens defense. You know what I'm saying? Where it was everybody understood what their job was, and everybody did their job, and each man held the next man accountable for that. And there was an understanding that, this is what my job is. I'm going to go out there and do my job better than anybody that can do it. But the thing that team had, and a lot of the winning teams have, is they have that depth. And when you sub out a Saragusa and can bring in, this guy, that guy, and you don't really lose nothing. You know what I'm saying? That right there is what I think that was the genius of Ozzie Newsome. where he understood how to bring in pieces in that free agent market. You know what I'm saying? He brought in guys, veteran guys that knew how to play. They didn't cost you a lot of money, but they knew how to play. You know, and they came in and they fit right into what we had going on, and it just worked. And that's something he did even years they didn't win Super Bowl, but he always had the team. He just understood how to plug and play. You know what I'm saying? And Landon Saunders, what's going on? Said line needs improvement, but the D is getting pushed around. Absolutely. And we talked about that. You know, we talked about the how our defensive lineman was getting pushed back 5, 6, 7 yards. You know, they getting hands on the linebackers. You know, you see the linebackers engaged with linemen. You know, which the linebacker is supposed to be free to make plays.
Yeah.
In the running game, you know. But you know, it was a tough loss. You know, the city was in mourning this morning. You know, again, you know, I luckily take back roads to work, so I didn't run into any negativity on the road.
Smart.
You know, and you know, with the people at the Dunkin' Donuts and the 7-Eleven getting coffee. You know, I know a lot of people were speaking this morning, and a lot of people, you know, pushing and shoving and get out of the way, and
Yeah.
you know, all that.
Yeah.
And this is what you get when you lose. You know what I'm saying? The people are just they so connected to these teams that, you know, I heard the the rapture was supposed to happen. Did you hear that?
That what was supposed to happen?
The rapture.
Yeah. No, I didn't hear that.
Jesus Christ is supposed to be coming back.
Dang, I didn't know that, man.
Yeah, it was false alarm.
False alarm.
Yeah, false alarm.
Hmm.
But I think he showed up at the stadium last night.
Yeah, somebody showed up.
There was a massacre there.
Wasn't the Ravens?
Nah.
They didn't show up.
And for those who are believers, please don't take my word too seriously. It was just a joke.
A joke.
You know, it was just a small joke. Probably not a good one, but it was a joke.
Right.
You know, I'm a believer as well.
Yes.
You know, but a little joke. You know,
Right.
little play.
That's all.
I mean, that's all. You know, you got to make jokes, man. We just got smashed on Monday Night Football,
It helps you get through these challenging times.
and these are tough times.
Right. Helps you get through. I think the Ravens, man, they might have gave up on Trenton Simpson because it looked like Buchanan was out there most of the time. And
Yeah, and again,
Mm-hmm.
it looked like he was the guy.
Yeah.
For a couple games last year, it looked like Simpson was the guy.
He was going to be the guy.
But
then,
what's happening at practice,
right?
or what's happening where he's not getting the reps no more?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And those are the things we don't know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? As fans, because we're not privy to what's going on at practice. We're not privy to what's happening in the meeting room. Maybe he's falling asleep in the meeting rooms. I don't know.
And then maybe he cognitively he's not able to handle the play calling, the defensive play calling, and those assignments. And you know, them playbooks are pretty thick and pretty heavy, and you got to be somewhere on certain calls and stuff like that. And if you can't process that stuff, then you're not going to be out on that field.
Yeah.
And so pretty much he's been out there on special teams. Shout out to Mark Andrews. He looked more like himself in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Made nice catches and everything, and so he looked like he's starting to round into shape. So so it wasn't all bad.
No.
There were some bright spots in the game, but overall, looking at how they got pushed around, again, that's the most dominant 38-30 game that I ever seen in my life. I ain't seen a team get dominated. Ravens did, and the score was 38-30, and the Ravens actually had a chance to win that game.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy. That was
Crazy. Well, I don't know.
Landon, you still got your equipment, man. I mean, they could use you on that line, bro. You still got something, man. Some pads and stuff at the house. Come on now, stop playing.
Go ahead, suit up, Landon.
Right.
You need a ride? I'll take you down.
Absolutely.
I'll take you down there. I'll give you a ride down.
I think Landon played. I think he played both ways in high school. I think he played on both lines.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope he's on there to verify that, but he was a dog.
Yeah.
Dog.
What's up, Alvin? Big little brother, Alvin Jeffers from TS. Say definitely messes me up for the next day or two when they lose. I don't watch any of the sports shows or nothing. Well, I'm glad you're watching this one.
Right.
Thank you for tuning into this one.
Right.
I don't watch the ESPN and none of that stuff either. Because I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear none of that stuff, man.
Yeah, they say that all the anything that's associated with purple takes a significant loss. Like there's no purple clothing being purchased. They say grape soda sales are down. Ain't nobody fooling with the grape Kool-Aid. This stuff is serious, man. This is serious stuff, man. But there's always next week.
No Purple Rain.
Yeah. They don't play that song. No. Prince is out the window right now. Ain't fooling with no Prince songs or nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
It definitely ain't no Purple Tuesday.
No, not at all.
Damn.
Oh.
Well, we got a few days, get it out your system.
Yeah, man.
And we gotta get ready for Sunday. I mean, hey, every week any given Sunday is what they used to say.
Yeah.
I think they made a movie about that. Any given Sunday, anything can happen. Cleveland beat Green Bay yesterday.
Right.
Anything can happen.
Right. Green Bay beat Detroit.
Anything can happen. And Detroit beat the Ravens.
And Detroit, I mean, go figure.
beat them bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if it's true, man, but I heard that 95.9 is not playing any Motown songs this week. Yeah. Detroit came in, disrespected us, Motown review BS. You ain't hearing no Jackson 5. You ain't hearing no Temptation, no Stevie Wonder. El DeBarge and them boys. Not more than that. Not this week.
Maybe next week. Maybe Monday.
Maybe Monday we can get that sound. Maybe after we is that Kansas City game nationally televised?
Well, it's a 4:00 game.
It's a 4:00 game, so everybody.
4:00 game, so that's they usually the 4:00 games supposed to be the highlight games for the Sunday afternoon games. So we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
We'll see.
But go ahead. Go ahead and wrap this one up.
Mm-hmm.
With heavy Ravens today.
Yeah.
Heavy.
Yeah.
Heavy. Zach Orr. Halloween is around the corner, buddy.
It is.
I don't want to see you trick or treating with the kids.
Hey.
Out at the mall.
And Thriller ain't Motown, so they can play that song. Come on, Zach. Get it together.
let's go, Zach. We pulling for you, buddy.
For you, man.
You know, we pulling for you.
Right.
If you can make for a good show next week,
Yeah.
it's all on you.
I'm on you, Zach. Get that game plan together.
Yeah, it's not gonna be much easier facing the Chiefs. They don't look the same, but it's not gonna be easy. They will be there for sure.
You ain't getting no pressure on Mahomes, man.
You got to hit him.
I already know.
And see, Mahomes is somebody that can make plays outside of that pocket.
Yes, he can.
So you get to chasing him around. That
Right.
sometimes that feed right into what he want.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you gotta hit him early and often.
Yeah.
So, you know, we've laid out some things that need to happen. You know, Zach Orr, DeCosta, you got to make a move for the trade deadline. You got to get some help, get some pressure on these quarterbacks. Offensive line needs some help. You know, Harbaugh gonna be in trouble, I think, if the season don't go a certain kind of way. And I ain't never said that publicly. I ain't never been one to say that. But I think if the season don't go the way that it's expected to,
Right.
Harbaugh could be in trouble. Especially with these two losses early in the season, the way they losing games. John Harbaugh could be in trouble.
And you know, and when it comes to those coaches, you know, sometimes I know some guys can hang around for a while, but there could really start to be a changing of the guard as far as head coaches are concerned. So I don't know. Maybe guys like Andy Reid, John Harbaugh, Mike Tomlin, these long-term coaches who've been in the league for a long time, you know, they all struggling a little bit this year. And who knows? I mean, it could be that time, you know, but I think for those guys, definitely nothing's going to happen during the season. But I agree with you. If the Ravens fail this year, Harbaugh will definitely be on that hot seat. And, and I think the same goes for Tomlin too. And then you even have to look at, I mean, if Kansas City falter this year, you have to look at Andy Reid, the age of Andy Reid, the physical health of Andy Reid. He's on the sideline and going at it, heated arguments with Taylor Swift's husband.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So so you know it, you know, there is you know, Belichick. You know, he's gone. He's trying to handle those North Carolina Tar Heels down there. I mean, so sometimes those things seems to happen at a particular time when all of a sudden a certain group, you know, maybe these older coaches kind of get swept out of the league. I'm not putting that out there. That could happen. It's a possibility. So long term is good. That's great, but yeah. Whether these guys can survive or not, only time will tell. I thought he was ready to yell at me.
You could pull up into Wawa and John Harbaugh could be in there pumping you know, giving you cash change at the register.
That's right.
Next year.
That's right. That could.
I don't want him to make my sandwich. I'd rather him not make my sandwich. I'd rather just go ahead, you know, pay for my gas with Harbaugh at the register.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Harbaugh seat is hot.
It's hot.
You know what I mean? He's on the hot seat right now, and
it's hot. And he hired Zach Orr, and I mean that was with it was some other guys on that squad, man, that could have easily been chosen as the offensive coordinator. They had the one guy who went to Miami. These names, man. He was like the assistant head coach. And he wound up picking Zach Orr, and this guy goes down to Miami as a defensive coordinator, and the defensive back coach. I think he went to I don't know, maybe the Jets as their defensive coordinator. I don't know. It was a lot of choices that could have been made, and Harbaugh selected Zach Orr. And Harbaugh over the years have been pretty decent. I mean, he brought in Monken offensively, so he's made some real good choices there. But if the Ravens have a subpar, if they don't make the playoffs, man, he would definitely.
Yeah, he gone.
He gone. Yeah,
He gone. Yeah,
he'd be gone.
he gone. So yeah, so I think this is the year, you know, that Harbaugh's seat is a little hot, but his seat won't. I mean, unless the season just go bad, he'll make it to the end of the season.
Yeah.
But if they don't make the playoffs for sure, yeah, he'll be getting a U-Haul and packing up.
Oh yeah.
And he'll be out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, another week in the books. You know what I'm saying? Let's hope next week is a little better. You know, we don't have to tap out. We don't have to play the tap song.
Yeah.
Goddamn, in the beginning of the show. I ain't gonna play it no more, but
Yeah.
at least not tonight.
Hopefully, man. Hopefully you won't have to pull that back out. But it was certainly appropriate.
Yeah. So if y'all, thank everybody for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the like, comments, and shares. Hit the subscribe button on YouTube if you're watching over there. Follow, all the pages, man. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I got a TikTok. I got to figure out how to go live over there. It's definitely a lot of action over there on TikTok. I want to, get up over there, do some live over there. But I appreciate everybody for tuning in.
Absolutely.
On this somber Tuesday evening. But we'll be back next Tuesday, 9 o'clock. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. You got a gripe, or if you want to celebrate a Ravens win next week, come here and celebrate with the Sports Mix podcast. Coming to a location near you. We got to get out in the community a little bit and meet some people. You know what I'm saying? So, y'all see me out and about, man. Give your boys some shout outs. Send me some warm greetings. Because it's a little cold right now. With these L's, man. A little cold over here. So, my brother, appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Right back at you.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure.
And we'll do it again next week.
Week.
Peace out, family.
Indeed.